One. Hello, Culture Matters podcast. I am so excited to introduce this show. We're at the New Year's Eve Lollapalooza. I'm here with my co-host for the day, Mike Drop Calhoun, the one and only founder, board of advisors, and two unbelievably amazing human beings, Judd Burdon, Asphalt Kingdom, so much more, lover, giver, celebrator of culture, somebody I consider a very close friend I've known for years, and Reagan Weiss, who's a one-man brand. If he helps, if he keeps helping people, he might change the world.
That's right.
I met him at a dinner, and that dinner was one that changed my life. And Andrew Berman will be joining us shortly. Thanks for coming on the Culture Matters podcast, guys. And the quote that I have today that I'm trying to live out is: life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. And today we're going into our word for 2025, or from last year, and what word we're using to pull into the new year. So thanks for everybody for coming. Mike.
Yes, sir. Okay, dude, we are going to kick this sucker off. This is like a double header here. Normally he catches me with one at a time. We've already cracked out our first hour. We were on at 5 a.m., gentlemen, and Jay is about being punctual. Let's get it moving right at 5, right? So we are moving into our second episode, Reagan and Judd, with both of you here. Reagan, you have a phenomenal business building the barn dominiums, and you and I have had some great correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Oh yeah, you scared me there with that. I thought maybe all of a sudden you sold the business and you started something new.
No. It's funny. It's funny you say that because I've actually had that conversation that there's a possibility I might be selling in 2026. Actually, I haven't even talked to you about that at all. So yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
And
price is going up by the minute with all the listeners.
it's a little bit of a newer business for you as well. I think you've been doing it like the last 3 or 4 years, you said? Is that correct? Did he freeze?
Interesting, actually. This is a very interesting thing that's taking place about
Did he
considering
freeze or did I
selling.
freeze?
No,
He's frozen. He's frozen.
Okay.
But an interesting thing considering that he's potentially selling the business in 2026.
Oh
Because
yeah.
man, there's a really, I mean, literally a month ago, I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to be selling my business.
There was a power.
Oh, there he is.
There was
He's
a
back.
power shutdown at just happened. Like a whole glitch just happened. Like unbelievable. 6 o'clock in the morning. All right, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, all good. So Reagan and I, we met a little while back through Jay. He's got a great business with the barn dominiums.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's thriving over the last couple of years, and it's really on the upswing. I think you said you might even double revenues this year just based on how things have been going from 2025. And you're also a seasoned investor. You're a really good connector. I think you're just on the phone. I've made a couple intros, and you're really good at getting right down to the value in a conversation and super gracious with your network as well, which I've noticed right off the get-go.
Thank
And
you.
then we have Judd on today as well. Judd has just recently done a day with Jay. So Judd is in the process of experiencing what value is, what is leadership, what is culture. Though he has a really rich track record in business and business development. I think he is really getting a reset just by experiencing what Jay's process is. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay followed me around for a year and monitored everything. It was the weirdest experience. Followed me around for a year, every meeting, phone calls, in the office. I would look over and he's just watching me. He's literally just I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm working. I'm like, you're not doing anything. No, I'm working. Like, it was odd, but about 2 months into it, I started seeing it blossom into really a manual that's about 2 or 3 inches thick that is guiding the future, the culture, the leadership, our acquisitions, and probably our future exit as well. Um, it's a privilege to be here with all four of us now. And let's just dive into the conversation. Judd, I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about you as well. And Jay, let's kick it off, buddy.
Yeah, I'm curious what your word was last year. So just so my word was intensity last year. I wanted to burn myself in my own flame so that I could rise anew, and maybe things like as amazing as this could come into my life. And this year, my word is love, moving into 2026. I'd love to know what your guys' words are, so I can take notes and learn from you guys today.
Judd, what's your word, buddy?
So my word for 2025 was change, like change. And as I was reflecting after I listened to these 15 incredible interviews and podcasts and collaboration from the Lollapalooza 2024, that word was definitely not as capitalized and bolded as it became as I listened to that day of incredible exchanges. It's incredible when you start to think a little bit harder and a little bit deeper about what it is that you stand for, what it is that you do. And change is exactly what happened in 2025 at a level that is wild. A change of place that I live. So I've lived in Anguilla for 21 years in the Caribbean, little small island, 13 miles long by 2 miles wide, 15,000 people on the island. My wife, Mindy, said, let's change the spot, man. Go, explore other cultures and expose the kids to some different parts of this beautiful planet that we're space traveler on. And so we moved to Panama and got a place here in a beautiful, beautiful spot. The day with Jay was down here in Panama.
Okay.
And then our partner who had worked with our company for 16 years dropped the bomb. Dropping bombs, that was Brad Lee, I think. Yeah, right there, right then.
Hey, so everyone knows real quick, Andrew Berman is here. Andrew, meet Judd, Mike, and Reagan, Andrew, Judd, Andrew, Mike, Andrew. Give him a big hug and please finish what you're saying. Sorry, Judd.
Welcome, Andrew.
It's me, Andrew. So partner CEO retires after 16 years in July in the middle of the asphalt season, and I'm in the asphalt. I work in the asphalt industry. And then I go to Colombia and get my eyes done after wearing glasses for 40 years, man. I get refractive eye surgery and I get new lenses injected into my eyeballs, right? It's like cataract surgery. And all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, I can see perfectly without these glasses that consistently interfere with my life. Like my glasses that allowed me to see so much better actually were causing so much interference in the quality of life. And it's like just that perspective. So the change with that was huge. So, I mean, it's just been a world of change. And then a day with Jay. Holy shit, man. When he looked at me in the back room of Mansa as we were eating steak and I was standing up writing on a whiteboard, he's like, this is more or less what he said. If I don't get this right, Jay, then you'll have to forgive me. But it was something like, so dude, when are you going to start to try? It was like, what would be the 5 next moves that you would make to really change the trajectory of your future? Maybe in less words, because Jay probably said it in 2 or 3 words, but that was the level of impact. That's what I got. And in that moment, there was just massive change. I went from literally thinking I was going to sell my company. And it was a dead end. I felt like a loser. I felt like after 23 years, I built a company that might have value of $6 or $7 million after 23 years. And it's like, in that moment, I realized that we were going to go and build a business that is going to become known as the biggest pavement ecosystem, the biggest pavement company that has ever existed on planet Earth, that books are going to be written about us in the future. Like,
You're going to pave the way for all the rest of the pavement companies.
There you go.
I think that's what he's saying, right, Andrew?
I want everyone to know Andrew Berman is one of the lights of my life. He's about to get the trophy for the 40th appearance on the Culture Matters podcast. I can't say more. I'll take the rest of the damn show. Just so you all know, you're all invited all day. This never ends. You just go to the next, whatever. Don't disrupt your families and cultures and all. That'd be ironic, right? But like, we might run out of time, but we'll be going to the next session with some new friends, whatever. So just so everybody's on this. This is an all-day thing. Forever is welcome. It's not like, oh, you can't come. You're uninvited from the holiday party. That'd be weird, right? So anyway, Andrew, thanks for joining us. But Judd, that was unbelievably profound. Do you have a word for 26?
Absolutely. Integration is the word, capitalized in bold, man. So with the mergers that are going to unfold relating to manufacturing, brick and mortar, and our Asphalt Kingdom e-commerce portion with our communities, and then our technology arm that includes AI and all kinds of great stuff to help contractors win at just completely different levels, integration, and most importantly, integrating the knowledge. I've been a founder for many, many years, and I'm learning how to become a CEO for this next tranche of our growth. And that's not an easy thing, man. I'm usually a yes man all the way through as a founder, and I'm learning how to say no to to what I guess Alex Hormozy would say is the ladies in the red dresses that are dancing off in the corner.
Hey, Joe, just out of curiosity, so what's something big that you said no to in 2025 that you would have normally said yes to?
I think right towards the tail end, because our CEO, my partner, was the no woman, right? She worked with us for 16 years, decided to retire in July. And so towards the tail end of the year, I think the no was that, no, we shouldn't just sell this e-commerce dropshipping business. We should integrate it into a bigger ecosystem that we can create. So it's not a deep no. I'm moving more into the direction as we build the plan, as we build the budgets, as we build what our sprints and rocks look like, our critical drivers, our KPIs. Like, I've got to stick real close to that, and that's going to be a real cool challenge for me, and learning how to do that. So it's almost integration, but there's a subset to that as well. There's so many other words that need to come in. Discipline would be the next one for sure.
So so do you find yourself for 2025? Did you have less stuff on your project lists than you did in 2024?
Would say 2024 was probably the hardest year that we've experienced. There was a lot on our list in 2024. I was working way more hours, way harder, just by standing in front of a computer from 4 a.m. until 10 o'clock at night, burning the candle from both ends, and trying everything that I possibly could without the right kind of structure or tactic that was really going to get us to that dream destination. I started to lose connection with what I had believed in my earlier stages in building the business, where we had the 30 and 40% year-over-year growth. In 2024, we burnt out the bottom line through advertising. Our CPAs were way too high. Google ads, Facebook ads, Meta, right? Like, it just started to crush us. And you looked at the numbers at the end of the year, and it's like, a couple $1 million year should have been there. And we ended up with, a few $100,000 on the bottom line after 21 years in business. You kind of look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, did I fail, right?
I mean, it's a building market share. I'm assuming at the time that the thought was, let's get get the business in, and we'll figure out what to do next year.
I mean, as much as I say, you feel like a failure, it's in that moment you look at yourself, you kind of curl up in a fetal position, but you pop out of that pretty quickly. It's not ingrained in my genetics and my soul to feel like a failure for too long. But at the same time, I've got a lot of work to do, and I've got to do the right work in order to get me to the destination that we're believing in. And I'm preparing to integrate to be able to achieve that. So the day with Jay just changed. It changed the dynamic. We own a reasonable amount of real estate as well in the Caribbean, a boutique hotel and some luxe villas, and our son, his name's Justin. He's 26 years old. He's running this awesome real estate portfolio and growing it. But it's like, do I move away from this asphalt industry and do I move more into real estate? Do we move on precious metals, which, silver is an interesting place right now. And it's like, what direction are we going here? Because asphalt felt like a dying business to me in this e-commerce drop shipping world with generative search and the things that are going on in the competitive aspect of the e-commerce world.
I want to share something that I think you should know, Judd, is because it's been brought up a handful of times of a day with I'm laughing. It's hard for me to say it, quite frankly. A day with Jay. The three men that are on this that aren't me may not be aware, but we're also there too. And this is why. One of them I met on July 4th of 2018. We damn near got into an argument. And now he's the co-host of New Year's Eve. And it wasn't his fault. It was definitely me. Just being arrogant and well-read and so on. One of them.
He used far too large of words with me. It rubbed me the wrong way.
One of them, I can't even, they came in a little late, but you could see from the intensity of their questions, they make every room they walk into better. And that's Berman. And one of them, actually, because my word was intensity of 2025, I'm at an event with one of my closest friends in my life, right? Mount Rushmore relationship. And adjacent from him, who had been telling me, get out of the bathtub and go out there in the world and go essentially, go help people more. And adjacent from him is this very intense man, like paying attention, asking questions, listening with intensity. He's been doing it this whole time since he got here. And what happened was, this is why I'm sharing with him. I was just like in the signal between that intensity, and then I was there like, all right, where I was with Brad at the time is like, I'm just gonna have a good time and just be myself and not be worried if people about others. And we had one of the most funny, intense, it didn't even make sense, the dinner, the things that we talked about. That's Reagan Weiss. But his intensity, his intention and attention and questions. So like I would say, it's taken my whole life to get to the point where I could do that. Go to some country in the middle of nowhere, in my estimation, and just give everything to another. And I want to acknowledge the men on this call because, you were all there. You've all helped me with your examples and our conversations over the years. And I was just thinking about that as you were talking. It's like, holy, what a overwhelming.
I came home
Reagan,
that day.
Please.
I came home that day, Jay, or came home that night. And I told my wife I met the most profound man on the planet ever. I said, one of the most interesting people I've ever met, one of the most interesting conversations I've ever had in my entire life was with Jay Doran. Now, at the end of the day, getting invited to that Lance Bachman event changed the course of my life within a year. And that is why my word last year was relationships. Okay. My whole goal this whole entire year since I've met you, my friend, and it's been that year now, was relationships, right? So within 1 year, the amount of people that you introduced me to, but not only that, holding Brad Lee accountable, true story, that night, because me and Brad were talking. But of course, Brad gets a plethora of phone calls and gets bombarded, and everyone wants to be a part of dropping bombs and be relevant and all those things. Brad's like, "You're coming on the podcast." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, no cost, no nothing." And we all were aware of cost. No cost, no nothing. You're in with Jay. You're in with me. Let's go. Then, months go by, follow up here and there. Jay makes one phone call to confirm that. And then 3 weeks later, I'm on Dropping Bombs podcast. Now I'm on Dropping Bombs podcast that in March last, 2025, had a great relationship with Brad, built it immediately, talked about not just barn dominiums, but life and marketing and all these other things, helping other trade businesses and so forth. Then Brad, at the end of that conversation, says, all right, guys, all right, whatever he calls them, bombers. So he's like, blow his phone up. Reagan, what's your phone number? I give my phone number across the airways. My phone didn't stop for 2.5 months of people constantly watching that podcast, okay? Wanting to collaborate, wanting to meet. But because you cultivated that relationship and nurtured it for me, I was able to do that and then build a relationship with Brad where now we talk, now we have conversations, bust chops, have friendly relationship.
Yeah, he loves you.
I'm ditto. The feeling's mutual. And then it continues, my brother. We're back again. Think about it. I meet you and Brad again in Vegas, and we only spent moments together because you had, but that's twice within a year going back, because that's 2 times, bro. So I was there before you were there with Brad. Then I came and saw you again with Jordan Long, my partner in the Trade Up, marketing company, and then had those relationships. But within that year, Lance Bachman's podcast, right? Going to visit Sean Crane out in Santa Monica, California, being a part of his thing, building relationships with all these different trades. The year has been nothing but relationship after relationship after relationship, and they've all benefited me. And I hope I've given them value, just like you give people value here. I mean, in introducing the people here, Mike, even to me as of recently, like these relationships have been nothing but priceless to me. But I want to tell you, going into 2026, the word's going to be obedience, and my word is obedience, and it's speed up your obedience. My obedience to those relationships, my obedience to God, my obedience to my wife, my obedience to my children. It's going to be obedient. How obedient am I going to be with those relationships that have cultivated over the past year? That is my goal for this year. I'm going to nurture the hell out of these like no other, and I'm going to give as much value as I possibly can. Again, and let me finish with this. Not only with 1 year, I met Lance Bachman. I want you to put this in perspective, gentlemen, and whoever that watches this. 1 year later, I'm the official MC at Lance Bachman's event that I was invited to last year. Like, let's think about that. Within 1 year, now I'm his MC. And do you know what happened at that MC, dude? Brad's there again. Of course, Tommy built a relationship with Tommy Lee over the past year. Tommy Mello, a friggin' whatchamacallit? I met Jesse Cole, Savannah Bananas. Now I'm having conversations there. Tim Tebow. Like, dude, the relation, and now I'm talking to their guys, their producers, having discussions. It's been amazing. So obedience is going to be my word for 26.
And that's it. That's absolutely incredible. What do you think? What do you think it was that was like the turning point for you to really, really open up to building those relationships? Was it like what was it, man? There's something that happened.
I'm 47. Okay. And I've always deemed myself a local guy. And I always thought to myself, if I could dominate my 10-mile radius, I'll never have to reach outside of that, because there's so much money within this 10 to 20-mile radius in Tampa Bay, Florida, that don't be greedy, just be grateful for what you have. But I also recognize, as people and friends of mine, especially my business partner, Jordan Long, even Nick with the contractor, like, dude, you're playing small. And I started meeting Jay and Brad and, people like you guys. And they're like, what are you doing? Because you're meant for more. And I didn't want to do that. I never wanted to be an influencer, but I still not. I don't deem myself that word, but I wanted to be a person of substance, of what value I could bring to other people. So I finally said, all right, it's time to start exploring outside of my realm. And I took the trips, I took the flights, I did the things that I normally would not do, because as extroverted as I am, I'm an introvert. And there's only so much people at that point in my life I can tolerate, because people, and not everyone is a genuine, and there's always some kind of, unfortunately, what's in it for me philosophy, majority of society. And I've learned that to get around you guys, those are the people that we actually want to help other people. And I realize how many people like us that are out there. So I had to let that mentality out of my head and get with the people that think like us. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I was listening to podcast. Which episode was it, Jay? It was Brad Lee, Mike, you were on it, and it was Lollapalooza last year. You're muted, Jay.
782, Glenn Yopes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Helping losers to become winners, I believe, is that it? Did I nail that, Mike?
Yeah, but
helping losers become winners. They're winners. They just think that they're just losers right now, something along the lines of it. And it's like,
yeah, that's like a core tenet of, I'm sorry to interrupt. No, go ahead. Sorry. Got excited.
No, I was reflecting on it, and I'm like, man, we believe who we are because of the past, right? Up until the ultimate present, this is who we are because the past has shaped us to be who we are today. And that's like the day with Jay, or, here together, and anybody listening to this right now, this could be that moment in time right now where perspective can change. Like I felt like a loser looking in the mirror when I was running this e-commerce dropshipping business for 23 years that's built a life with millions of dollars of real estate and been able to travel the world and give a life to my family that's incredible. I still looked in the mirror and felt like I was a loser. Mm-hmm. But I know I'm a winner. I just needed some help to be able to win at a deeper level than I was content with. That I was getting too comfortable for too long. And I was feeling lost. And it's like, that's why when I look back, I'm like, climbing's so important. But if I look back, if I would have made a decision, I really genuinely believe this. If I would have made a decision to invest into coaching at a much earlier stage in my life, I would be way further towards a dream that may be different, but further along than I am here today. And I took 46 fucking years, guys, to make a decision to invest into coaching, because you're never sure if this coaching is going to be a cost or expense versus an investment, and what's really going to come from it. I mean, and it's like, well, for anyone out there listening right now, man, if you don't have a coach in your corner that's not just a mentor, but a coach that's going to hold you accountable, one that's going to say no to you, one that's going to ask you the really hard and deep questions. If you're on that fence, I strongly urge you to jump into a coaching partner.
And Judd, I think there's different levels. I mean, like, obviously at basic, you should have a solid mentor, someone next, who you're looking up to, that you want to be like that person in a few years, at the basic thing. And any coach is going to be better for the most part than no coach. But truly identifying the ones that are going to have the significant, change in your business, like Mike, like Jay, like the impact that those guys have, that's just, it's a rarity, because I think most people build their skill to talk about actually the impact that they can have, then actually do the work and have the the receipts to prove.
Jay called it the X-Men team, right? Like who's the X-Men team that you're working with? Who's the advisory board that you're working with? And it's like that mentors, man. I couldn't agree more, brother.
Yeah, who's on your board of advisors, your personal board of advisors, and that's the mentality that you have to have. And if you can't reach out to those 5 people and not get the advice you want, then they're not on your board anymore, and it's a constant revolving door.
I have a question for Andrew. You last year, so Andrew was here last year with it was just me, Mike, and Andrew at 6 a.m. And your word was accountability, and I think it was like consistency in actions and taking ownership. You what are your reflections on that word? It's been a year since then.
And so when I went into that word, I didn't necessarily have the framework to understand what accountability meant. Like I understand what the word means, but like what is that? Like how do I provide a system to be accountable to like the stakeholders, like whether it's clients, whether it's really more my employees, my fellow my coworkers, everyone I work with. So this year, um, I built structure around having accountability. About and I am far from perfect at it, just because I realized I don't think I ever was accountable to anyone, for most of my career besides myself, and just kind of made sure that I focused on my needs, my vision, and this year, I realized that for our company, our organization, to be able to reach the heights that I know it can, I have to stop thinking small. I have to stop thinking I could do it all myself. I have to be accountable for pieces of this and let my team members know that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it more often than I don't.
I should have said this to just to everyone. Andrew is the Chief Executive Officer of National Mortgage Professional Magazine, correct?
Yep, NMP. Yep.
And so I'll let you tell your own story, but he's yeah, just I think it's my views is very impressive the last couple of years of what you've accomplished.
Well, thank you. And I truly believe a significant portion of that is because of my the influence that you've had on me. And I've shared this a few times, but so my dad was I'll give you kind of the Cliff Notes version here, but my dad was a mortgage broker. We got involved in the media business as a side hustle. We learned that we really like the media business. We love telling stories, asking questions, finding out things that can help mortgage professionals make more money, be more productive or more profitable, and stay out of trouble. And we had more fun doing that than actually writing mortgages, so we pivoted to that. Became fairly successful with that. Built it up to different phases of mortgage publishing or mortgage media, and then 2020 we sold to American Business Media, became a part of the largest event organization in the mortgage business. So we're the largest media organization, they're the largest event organization, and kind of all became one big happy family. And it's been just a complete growth of trying to not be the founder anymore, and going to that same transition that you were talking about, I think, John, about the founder to CEO. When I first heard Jay mention this concept to me, I almost and Jay, maybe you did. I think you doubted that I ever would become like that I ever would be able to make the transition, and I haven't yet. I mean, I'm there. I'm getting closer, but I think I am more of the CEO today than I was, when I was actually running the organization, and now I'm just running the media, not the entire organization. So I don't even have the responsibilities that I did of the full organization.
It's very rewarding to just sit back and watch you guys communicate here. I was listening to, I want to recap a couple things. Reagan, your word is obedience. Last year, my word was jubilee. We won't go into all the detail there, but to acknowledge you, the obedience choice, that word is really, really wise. Obedience is the best form of worship that you can actually have, like from a ministry standpoint, relationship with, God. He says obedience is the best form of worship that you can give me, but it also unlocks his ability to reward you and for you to move forward. It says also, and all these things will be added unto you, but it can't be added unto you until there's obedience. I think you've obviously arrived at a very mature point in life where you understand that hard work is an ingredient that is required, but it is also just an ingredient, and there is a relationship not only to be had with others, but to also be had with your creator, so that you're also better for others. So just acknowledging you there for where you've arrived. And I actually totally get the kind of the local mindset, in the sense of you've got to go down a rabbit hole. You've got to get really good at something. You've got to focus, right? And then what ends up happening is all big things start small, but that value gets really concentrated. And then what you're kind of, the sensation that you're experiencing is you're like, oh, hey, I just took my value and I put it over here in this other area, and wow, everybody loved it. And then they loved it when I put it in this, and all you're really doing is you're just letting that value shine in other areas with other people. You're still the same guy. It just, you're realizing like you've become a valuable individual regardless of where you're at or who you're with. And I think that's probably why we're all on here today. And Judd, question for you, and you don't have to answer it right off the bat, but just for you, like I was listening to you. We could all agree Michael Jordan is rather talented, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Think of Michael Jordan. If he had, in reverse, he was on the baseball field, because he played baseball and basketball, correct?
Yeah.
And he was pretty good at baseball, but he's so much better at basketball. There's this something there, like when I hear you speaking, I feel like you're winning, but like if we just picked you up and put you on the basketball court versus the baseball field, like that's where the fulfillment's going to come. You might just be playing the wrong game, or playing it potentially the wrong way. Jay and I disagree on a founder versus a CEO. I tell him he has it backwards. He tells me I have it backwards. I mean, there's a reason they call it founder and chair, because the business becomes an asset. You're recognized as the founder. You're now managing or advising by sitting in the chairman seat. So we can get into that debate later, Jay. But just, I think sometimes it's just maybe putting you on a different field or putting you in a different seat. And the fulfillment comes because it's not just about putting numbers on the scoreboard. You obviously can put numbers on the scoreboard. I think it's about getting you where you actually feel like you're winning from a max value, you want to feel the max value for yourself versus somebody else saying, oh yeah, you're great, or your bank account reflecting you're great. You want to feel, you know what I mean?
Mike, I want to tell you something really quick about titles. I decided not longer to be the CEO or the founder of anything that I'm a part of. The title is now CIO, Chief Inspiration Officer. And I think that's what we all should be for our companies and the people around us, because at the end of the day, that's the title that matters and how we inspire and put people in the right direction. It's funny because I'm getting more traction with that title, and it's literally my title now. It's all my signatures, everything. It's CIO, Chief Inspiration Officer. It's just a different mindset.
I mean, your job is to bring the energy and the enthusiasm to the organization.
Yep.
It's and you want to talk about coaches, Andrew, like you are the best coach for the business because you're the one that cares the most for the business.
So,
your ability to get out and look back at it and coach it or advise it is the best seat in the house. But Andrew, I do a talk on the difference between a coach, a consultant, a mentor, and an advisor. And it actually was something that developed through my relationship with Jay, because he just keeps asking questions over and over and over until you answer them. So I think if we look at all of us here on the call or on the podcast, we're experienced. We've done a lot. We're also older, right? You're in that 45 to maybe 50 zone.
Blessing.
Yeah. And the reason advisors are probably the most important, and having, like, I'm just building off of what you were saying, Reagan, having a board of advisors. You don't really need a coach to hold your hand. Many times you don't have time or the patience for a consultant to come in and do the 3, 6, 9, 12-month process. And a mentor, I have a mentor, the guy just hit me earlier this morning. I'll never pay him. He'll never pay me. A mentor is a very special relationship. And usually somebody sees there's a value in you, they want to invest, and you admire them for maybe what they have done. But there is zero transaction in a mentor-mentee relationship. Mm-hmm. The advisor is the doctor. You get to ask the advisor or present the challenge or initiative. They give you the answer. There's really no negotiation. It's kind of like, hey, here's your prescription. Go get it filled. Take 2. Call me in the morning, and you just go do it because it's the highest form of value and associated with a transaction, and the fastest, in the form of speed to result. Like the advisor is really what we're looking for at this stage of the game. When I hear the word coach, I'm like, oh brother, is this like after school? Is this soccer? And usually the coach has never done it, which is hilarious. They read about it. But no, you guys are amazing. Just sitting back and watching the conversation develop. I'm glad I'm here today.
I would like to invite you all we have a 7 a.m. Eastern. We'll be joined by a wonderfully amazing human beings like I believe the one and only Gray Wilson. I know that there's a special person to my heart. I think all of ours at this point. Judd Burdon's going to be on. And I believe Robert Freehafer, who if you hear our story, it's definitely one to remember. So you're all invited to that. If you're listening to this podcast, please share this with maybe someone or those that are a part of your mastermind alliance, as Napoleon Hill, because this is very much a living embodiment of that.
Oh,
Um,
Jay, I know you're trying to wrap it up. Two things,
yes, sir.
three things. Andrew, I've got somebody that I want to introduce you to. Do you know Davin Michaels?
I don't think I do.
Okay, so Davin can be wildly valuable to you. I think your best approach is to maybe be valuable to him as well with the magazine. He is just starting a magazine around what's called the San Juan Social Club, and he's on his way to about 30,000 members in the San Juan Social Club. But they have Board of Advisors has its own magazine, so he learned kind of the process and who develops it for us, who publishes it, the whole thing. So he's now doing this magazine for the San Juan Social Club, and he puts on a big cruise in April. But he's probably one of the best marketers, investor. I mean, he knows how to make money, and he does it with style, and he's just a great guy. But I think you could be wildly valuable to him in that. What's the best strategy around the magazine from all the different angles? Because it sounds like you know that very well.
Yep, I would be an honor to speak to them and help them.
Reagan, we should do lunch, brother.
Let's do it.
We're like right here, and like, yeah, or let's come to the office, come to the headquarters. We're building out a studio, so we've got a lot kind of going on, but we should definitely do lunch.
100%.
And Judd, if like ecom is a big, is that a big focus? Like, because I want to ask you, what is Mars for you? Like, where are you going? Like, if you're Elon, he goes, if it doesn't have to get with getting to Mars, like, I'm not interested. So are we doing more e-commerce? Are you steering away from it? I've got some really, really big relationships in the e-commerce game that we've been very good to for well over a decade. Like, I mean, Justin Singletary with fulfillment.com, those guys know everybody. So if we can get some time, I can make some great introductions that can probably help you if I just, know a little bit more about like, where are we going?
Absolutely. I'd love to connect with you and hop on a call, Mike. I'd really appreciate that. We're doing manufacturing of the equipment. This is the merger. So ecom, marketing, brand exposure through the online platforms, manufacturing of equipment for the asphalt maintenance and preservation industry, seal coat rigs, crack sealing machines, hot boxes, stripers. We're going to build that. There's a dealer network. We're going to develop that dealer network to perform better and also add new strategic dealers to the platform, dealer development model. And we're also doing the brick and mortar expansion throughout Canada and the United States for the pavement depots that will be there as well. So we're building the Asphalt Kingdom, not just the website that has a drop shipping relationship with a vendor. We're going to do the full.
So one of our guys is heavy duty AI, and we just put together a contract with the largest servicing company that services all heavy equipment across the U.S. So the module it's a module that goes in every type of equipment you can possibly imagine, and it does all the ECU tuning. It does all the location, like, because a lot of that stuff gets left, on job sites and stuff. So really, it's a monitoring system, a security system, but it's also a tuning and maintenance system. It measures too, is it being, under maintenance or overrun, overheated, so forth. So that relationship, though, that company that's in the board of advisors has now a contractual agreement with a company that services, like I said, I think it's about 55% of the industry in America. So it's huge. So if like you're getting into the equipment side, I'm sure there's some pretty cool conversations there as well.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I look forward to actually connecting. I'd love to connect with each and every one of you and have a great conversation to ask some questions. I've got some questions too. They may not be as deep as Jay's, but I certainly love to uncover it, to build a relationship, become a little bit vulnerable if we decide that makes sense to explore. But I'm excited to build relationships with all of you guys.
Yeah, I know you got to wrap it up because you got a 7, but I am grateful for being invited this morning. And I do want to definitely connect with all of you. And quite frankly, even at this stage of our life, we need accountability buddies. So if you need accountability buddies, let me know, because I'm all about making sure we're holding each other accountable, because that's what our board of advisors should be all about. So bless you guys. I appreciate it.
Bless you.
You got it, Reagan. Good job, Andrew. Thank you, Judd.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
If you're listening to this episode, share this with a friend, and please leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast so we can continue bringing unbelievable people and resources and reasons to continue growing your life, your business. Please leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast. Love you guys. You're all amazing. And we will see you next time